So I was sitting around the other day going through my messages and emails, and I got this movie recommended to me, and I thought, you know what? Why don't we turn over a new leaf here, and maybe we can get off on a good foot, because the recommendation was for a movie that kind of revolves around two of the things I dislike the most kind of at the moment from other movies I've seen in 2019, and that is Italian horror movies and zombie films. But this is both of those, and I gotta be honest, I actually like this film. Hey guys, welcome to Happywax TV. Welcome to 2020. And yeah, welcome back to studio number 2. If you guys are new to the channel, I have 2 studios. I usually, go a month in one studio and then switch it up and come back to this studio. So flip-flop around. So anyways, that being said, I thought I would do a recommendation. And I am. I sat down and I watched this movie. It's called The End. Actually, I'll be honest with you, I've had a ton of you guys recommend some movies to me over the holidays, and I've watched a fair amount of them. So the next couple of reviews that I do are going to be focused on, the subscriber recommendations. So if you guys have movies that you want me to talk about, just shoot me a message or leave a comment on here. I'm going to tell you something. I went through my Twitter the other day and I had a lot of messages on there. I'll be God honest with you. I don't use Twitter very much. So if you want to get a hold of me, the best way to do it is just go to my links in the description. I know there's Twitter on there, but I don't really use it. And just send me a message. Use Messenger. My Facebook link is there. So just shoot me a message on Facebook, or I guess if you want, you can leave a comment on here as well. So, but yeah, keep the recommendations coming, guys, because for the most part, they've been pretty good. And this movie, The End, is one that I had never heard of. But I will tell you this right off the hop. You can find this movie on one of my favorite streaming channels, and it's free, called, I don't know if it's Tubby TV or Tubi TV. I'm going to call it Tubby TV. So yeah, you can go there, just type in The End, and it is on there. I actually searched for this fucking movie trying to find it. And Tubby TV was like my last resort, and sure enough, it should have been the first place I looked for it. So, but anyways, the movie is called The End. It is directed by Danielle Misashia. I hope I said his name correct. It's got a bunch of people in here, but a lot of them are just voices. The main star, and really, the only person you really need to focus on is Alejandro Roja. He plays a character named Claudio Verona, who we find out in the first act is kind of, he's this famous businessman. He makes these big dollar deals, and he's obviously a millionaire. I don't know if he owns the building. Like, the movie picks up with him in the cab going to work, and I'm not sure if he actually owns this building that he's going to, or if it's just, he's one of the partners there. I'm not really sure. But either way, this guy's a big name and everybody knows who he is. We also find out in the first act that he's kind of a prick. He's got one of those smug kind of cocky attitudes. The cab driver asks him, he knows who he is, the cab driver, and he asks him, can I have your opinion on some stuff, because I'm taking business courses and stuff as well. And this guy kind of just fluffs him off, you know what I mean? It's like, kind of go help yourself and stop asking me, sort of thing. And then we also find too in the first act that he's remarried, okay, but his ex works in the building as well, and he's flirting with her and trying to like feel her up in the elevator and stuff like that. So we get an opening impression of this guy, and then the power goes out while he's in the elevator. And then he's an asshole to the guy on the, when he's using his cell phone and the elevator phone to try and get the elevator fixed. But the cool thing about this movie is, and I didn't think I was going to like this just because of the premise, but while he's trapped in the elevator is pretty much the same time that a zombie outbreak occurs. And now they're fast running zombies, which I am not a fan of, but for this style of movie, it really does work because it keeps the pace going. This movie's an hour and 40 minutes long. It could have been trimmed down. They easily could have cut, 10 10 to 15 minutes off of this movie. But you know what? For the most part, considering the majority of this movie takes place in an elevator, I mean, the pace does move along. And I'll tell you too, Alessandro Roja does a great job, because throughout the movie, he kind of goes through a whole array of emotions, which we all would. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, first he's pissed off because he's trapped in there. And then when shit starts to happen, obviously fear, I think, would be the first emotion that would come to us, because we don't know what the fuck's going on, right? He does manage to pry the elevator doors open, you know, probably a good 6 to 8 inches, enough for him to see out, and he can reach out too. But luckily, the door's jammed. So, I mean, at first we think it's a bad thing because he can't get them open anymore. But then we realize it's probably a good thing, because when the zombies start to come in, they can't get in either. You know what I mean? So, and it's the one thing I'll tell you, and I've said this about other horror movies, you know, if you're going to do this and it's a smaller budgeted movie, I mean, you really need to amp up the gore. And they did that in this movie. There's blood fucking everywhere by the time this movie ends. I thought it was fantastic. The zombies looked really good. So congratulations to the makeup artists. There's not a ton of CGI in this movie. I was kind of looking for it. I don't really think I saw much of any, if any. I mean, most of it's practical, which was another big thumbs up in my books. And, you know, I mean, it just keeps moving. It's you know, I don't want to give too much away. Again, this is more of a movie you should just kind of watch and let it unfold in front of you. But I went into watching this flick thinking, you know, I'm probably not going to like this movie, just because the zombie genre is, you know, oversaturated. And, well, I mean, the last couple Italian horror movies I've seen haven't been that good. You know what I mean? But I thought this movie killed it. To give it a rating, I'd probably give it a strong 7, maybe a 7.5. The funny thing too is I never even heard of this movie. Apparently it came out in 2017. Now I've seen a shit ton of movies between, you know, now and then, so I may have watched the trailer and forgot about it. You know what I mean? But I didn't see anything on this when it got released. But it is on Tubi or Tubby TV, so you can find it there. But I would highly recommend this movie. You know, if you're big into zombie movies, this is definitely one that you want to watch for sure, because it's well acted. There's lots of blood and guts in it. You know, the first act might be a little bit slow just because we're character building and they want you to know exactly what this guy's all about. You know what I mean? But again, like I said, the array of emotions that this guy goes through, you know what I mean? From fooling around on his wife with his ex-wife, or trying to, and then, you know, you get the attitude where he really doesn't care about her. But then when shit starts to hit the fan, I mean, his emotions go through the roof, and, you know, he's trying to get out of here just so he can get to her, and, you know, the shit that he's got to deal with in the elevator. The only thing that I found kind of corny was he gets trapped between the 6th and the 7th floor, and it's amazing how much action takes place on that floor. You know, I said to myself, come on, man. Like, really, is like the 7th floor really the gathering place for all this action? So that I thought was kind of funny. But again, he's trapped in the elevator. So, I mean, obviously stuff has to go on or we'd fall asleep in this movie. I think it would have been better if it would have been, you know, maybe stuck on like the lobby floor, just because that's the front entrance of the building. But again, this is a lower budget horror movie, so basically, you know, he can only see down the hallway, and I'm sure if they showed the front lobby of the building, it would be much bigger, and they'd also probably see outside, so they'd have to fill all that in too, right? So they saved themselves a shit ton of money by just being able for him to see out down this one corridor, and that was it. So, which is probably why they did it, which is smart thinking. So, but it's just kind of funny sometimes when you see stuff go on and you're like, come on, this isn't going to happen on the 7th floor. This is fucking on the street or lobby action. You know what I mean? So, the other thing too, and I don't want to give any spoilers, but at the very end of this movie, I love, you know, the whole time I was thinking, why did they call it the end with a question mark? And then at the very end of this movie, you understand why, because, and I mean, this might be a little bit of spoiler, just plug your ears, but I want to talk about it a little bit. But there is no ending to this movie. I mean, you watch the trailer, we all know he gets out of the elevator. But at the very end of this movie, it doesn't end. Like they leave it wide open for a sequel. And I'll be honest, the way this movie's shot, you know, I'm not a huge fan of sequels, but I think I would really like to see a sequel to this movie just to see where they take it and where it goes. So anyways, if you've seen this movie, let me know what you think of it, or let me know what you thought of it. Again, it's on Tubby TV, so you can watch it for free. Just go there and type in The End and it'll come up for you. Yeah, and if you haven't seen it, go watch it and then come back and let me know. So anyways, thank you for the recommendation. The movie is called The End. Keep them coming to you guys. I've got 3 or 4 more reviews I'm going to do just on recommendations alone in the next couple of days. I really appreciate that, you guys trying to find me stuff that I haven't watched yet. So anyways, check it out. Let me know what you think, guys. And yeah, welcome to 2020. And as always, stay scared.